The Enlightenment Practices of Patanjali, Step 8. Deep Stillness, Absorption Beyond the Self, Opening Transmission. There is a moment on the spiritual path when words become too heavy, when thoughts lose their shine, when even effort feels like a veil between you and the truth. This moment is not about progress. It is about surrender. It is about a stillness so complete, so luminous, that even the observer dissolves. You do not arrive here by force. You are invited in by grace. In the sacred map of Patanjali's Enlightenment teachings, this is Step 8. Beyond posture, breath, concentration, and meditation, there is a flowering of presence so silent, so deep, that the sense of I am doing this completely disappears. This is absorption. It is the stillness beyond the self, and it is here that the veil begins to thin. Section 1. A brief recap of the journey so far. Before entering this stillness, let's recall the path that led us here. Patanjali's system of transformation unfolds in a clear sequence. 1. Moral foundation, through restraint and ethical alignment. 2. Inner purification, through commitment, discipline, and clarity. 3. Body preparation, through stillness and posture. 4. Breath regulation, through gentle control of life energy. 5. Withdrawal of senses, turning the attention inward. 6. One-pointed focus, stabilizing the attention like a candle flame. 7. True meditation, not thinking, not blankness, but pure sustained presence. Now Step 8 arises when meditation deepens to the point that there is no longer a meditator. Meditation no longer feels like something you are doing. It begins to feel like something that is doing you. And in that shift, the seeker disappears into the field of awareness itself. Section 2. What is absorption? Let's now go deeper into the nature of this state. Absorption in its essence is the complete merging of awareness with its object. But in Step 8, even the object fades. There is only consciousness resting in itself. In this state, the breath becomes shallow or pauses without effort. The body fades from attention. Thoughts may still arise, but they do not stick. The sense of time melts into something endless. There is no watcher, no judged experience, just being. Absorption is not spacing out. It is not sleep. It is not imagination or mental drifting. It is the bright silence behind all thought. It is the experience of reality without the filter of self. And most importantly, it is not a goal. It is a consequence. It happens when you are deeply aligned, deeply surrendered, and no longer trying to experience anything. It is not the result of perfection. It is the result of presence. Section 3. Common signs that you are entering absorption. Many sincere seekers pass through this threshold without recognizing it. Here are some subtle signs that Step 8 is beginning to open in your meditation. 1. You forget you were meditating. A timeless period passes where you have no memory, but you return feeling deeply rested and clear. 2. You feel yourself become space, not in a dramatic way, but in a gentle, expansive quiet. 3. Thoughts seem far away. Even when they arise, they no longer feel personal or sticky. 4. Your posture holds itself. The body feels suspended, light, and perfectly at ease, without adjustment. 5. You realize later that you weren't there, and yet it was the most you've ever been. Absorption is like the moonlight after a storm, not something you summon, but something that appears when the clouds part on their own. Section 4. The trap of trying to reach this state. This stage is extremely subtle, and therefore extremely easy to misunderstand. One of the greatest dangers on the path is the desire to recreate a past deep experience. You may have had a moment of stillness and then spend weeks trying to get back to it. But here's the paradox. Trying to enter absorption blocks absorption. Why? Because any attempt to control stillness is itself a disturbance. You cannot push your way into silence. You must become still enough that silence invites you in. This is not a test of strength. It is a test of sincerity, humility, and devotion. Real absorption cannot be manipulated. It arrives when your attention becomes so gentle, so open, that there is nothing left to resist it. Section 5. What science says about absorption. While this teaching is ancient, modern science has begun to confirm its subtle truths. In deep meditative states, the default mode network of the brain quiets down. This is the part associated with self-referencing thoughts. The theta and gamma brain waves become more synchronized. This reflects states of unified, timeless awareness. The sense of agency is reduced. People no longer feel, I am doing this, but rather, this is simply happening. These states are not fantasy. They are not dissociation. They are measurable alterations in consciousness that come from still, sustained presence. But remember, no machine can measure the essence of it. Only you can be it. Section 6. The role of breath and energy in Step 8. One of the gateways to absorption is the subtle breath. By Step 8, the breath becomes incredibly refined. You may find it slows so much that it feels like you are barely breathing. But unlike holding the breath, this is natural. It is not forceful. It is not dangerous. It is the pranic field entering equilibrium. Energy is no longer flowing outward into distraction. It is resting in the center. When this happens, you may feel warm or cool sensations moving through the spine. Your heartbeat may feel distant or non-existent. The entire body may feel suspended, like it's floating in space. These are signs that the body is beginning to trust the silence. You are not controlling it. It is returning to its original rhythm, and that rhythm is peace. Section 7. How to practice without forcing. So how do we align with absorption without chasing it? Here is a sequence you can practice regularly. 1. Prepare your space. No distractions. Sit longer than usual. 2. Release all expectation. Do not sit to have an experience, sit to be. 3. Focus lightly on the breath, not counting, not guiding, just listening. 4. Notice the pause between breaths. Gently rest in that pause. Let it extend naturally. 5. Let the sense of I fade. You are not the one doing this. You are the silence behind the doing. 6. Trust what happens. Even if nothing happens, stay with it. Absorption often begins in boredom. It ripens in the absence of craving. This is how you prepare the inner field. You don't water the seed by yelling at it to grow. You water it by making the soil soft and rich. Section 8. What awakens inside absorption. When you begin entering Step 8 more consistently, something profound happens. You stop believing you are the mind. This is not intellectual. You experience it. You see that thoughts are just ripples. That attention can rest far beneath them. You begin to trust stillness more than answers. You begin to hear the truth between words. You begin to feel the presence beneath effort. And from this presence, a new kind of intelligence arises. Not logical, but luminous. You feel guided by something vast and intimate, like being held by light. And in this holding, the old identity, the seeker, the struggler, the thinker, begins to soften. You are no longer trying to awaken. You are being awakened by silence itself. Mystical reflection. Stillness does not mean nothing is happening. Stillness means that everything that matters is happening, but without noise. Stillness is not the absence of energy. It is energy at rest in its own center. In Step 8, there is no longer a path to walk. There is no self to improve, no idea to hold, no goal to chase. There is only presence. And it is in this presence that the doorway to Step 9 opens. Liberation does not begin when you have mastered technique. It begins when you no longer need one. Absorption is not about escaping the world. It is about remembering the stillness beneath the world. It is not about transcending the body. It is about feeling the body melt into the quiet behind it. You cannot force step 8. You can only prepare for it. You can only bow to it. You can only become still enough that it finds you. If this speaks to your journey, let these teachings unfold with you. Subscribe to receive each new step as it awakens. You may also become a supporting member to help sustain these sacred transmissions and the upcoming book. Next episode, Step 9, Liberation, the End of Seeking, the Beginning of Being. Here the self dissolves completely, not into nothing, but into everything.